Welcome to my channel, and I've created this mini series for you guys about Python. So, my name is Adion, and I'm 11. I go to middle school, and Python is my hobby. And I'd like to teach you how to code in Python. And I'm going to teach you the many aspects of Python at a slow pace at which you can understand everything. Okay, so the reason Python is so good is because its syntax is very simple. Now, what I mean by that is that I'm sure you've written an essay, right? You wrote an essay? Yeah. Well, the grammar, punctuation, capitalization, the indents, everything. That's all that. That's like the grammar and basically the way you write it, right? That's called syntax. And in coding, syntax is the same thing. In Python, if you forget to put an indent somewhere or you forget to put a colon, then it'll give you an error, which can be frustrating. But that's why it's so important to understand syntax. So that's what syntax is. And Python has a very simple syntax. It's very easy to read and it's very powerful. It's simple and powerful. So that's what's so great about it. Now, it's also very versatile. So let's say you're completely new to programming. Or maybe you've had experience with some other languages like C, Java, JavaScript, right? Python will, it's good for you no matter where you come from, right? So, let's say you're new to programming, like completely new. Python will teach you many things that you need to know. And honestly, I think that Python is all you need to be a wonderful programmer. Okay, so Python is good in many ways, and I'll let you know about that over the course of this series. But right now, let's get you started with Python. Let's install Python so that we'll be prepared for later videos. Okay, so I'm using Chrome as my browser. You can use whatever you want, and I'm gonna head over to python.org. Python.org is Python's official website, and then we can go over to downloads, and here we go. Here we are on python.org/downloads. Now you have to install Python on your computer. So when you download Python, it goes on your computer. So now whatever you're using to code in Python, like you'll need Python for it. Like I know it sounds weird, but you need Python to code in Python. So we have to download it right now. So I'm just gonna click on this button, download Python 3.9.1, which is the latest source release. Okay, so since I already have Python installed, I'm not gonna click that. But yeah, you just have to click that. And since I am on a Linux, that's my computer, it will download whatever Linux, download the Python version for Linux. Okay. So once you're done with that, you can head over to whatever IDE you want. Now there are multiple IDEs that you can use to code in Python. I use Visual Studio Code, but you might have heard people using PyCharm or other IDEs, but I use Visual Studio Code, so I'm just going to let you know that's what I'm going to be using over the course of this series. Okay, so if you're using some other IDE, that's perfectly fine as long as it works. And actually, you might be asking, what is an IDE? Well, an IDE is an integrated development environment. Gee, what is that? Well, an integrated development environment is a place where you can, it's essentially a place where you can write code, you can run that code, and you can debug that code. It's like an environment for programmers so that they can run their code, make sure it works, debug it, yeah, that kind of stuff. And IDEs are very powerful, and you're going to need them if you want to be able to code. So you can download whatever IDE you want and work with Python on that. But if you want to work with Visual Studio Code like me, then you can head over to code.visualstudiocode.com. Okay, now that we're here, since I am using Linux, it gives me these two buttons for distributions of Linux. But let's say you're using Windows, then you would download Windows. Let's say you're using a Mac, then you can download it from Mac. But I'm using Linux and I'm using an Ubuntu, so I am going to click download. And since I already have it downloaded, I don't need to do that, but you do. So if you want to install Visual Studio Code, go to code.visualstudiocode.com and download it from there. See you in the next video.